That's what I was gonna say. It seems like you have a lot of high level mentors. Like it seems like you put mentorship up there, right? Like how much would you mind sharing how much you spend on mentorship like a year? Do you make that a point to spend a certain amount on mentorship?
Yeah, I we very much value mentorship. It's like one of the things that I will spend any amount of money if I
Mhm.
believe that that relationship or that mentorship will, um, like whether it's a person I want to meet or whether it's the information I want to meet, like I'm willing to spend the money. I don't necessarily have like a specific budget, or again, I don't have a like I'll spend this much or I won't spend this much. I
Yeah.
just look at it as the opportunity cost of like, does this person fill a need that can get me to the goal? And if it does, I'll spend the money, right? So on Alex, like again, that first program was like 10 grand, and then Gym Legacy, I was the very first person. So this is pretty cool. This is the thing I'm proud of. So Gym Legacy, which was Alex's mastermind, his mentorship, which is the next level after that, I was the very first person in that, right? And the reason I know that is because after at the gym launch, he signed me up for Gym Legacy. Like he went to the whole, he went to the pitch. And I was like, bro, like you don't got to pitch me. Like I'm in. I legitimately do not care what it costs, right? And so at that time, I think it was like $17,000 down, and then it was whatever it was a month. I don't even remember. It was like $1,500 a month, and I did that for years, right? Um, and so yeah, so I spent the money on that, and then started getting into real estate. I've spent money on mentorships in real estate, and I've spent like my most expensive mentorship. I spent 100K on a mentorship, and that was like not a payment plan. That was like upfront. And so that was our most expensive one. And then something like we're all in pace mentorship, and that's like less than 10 grand. I was like,
Yeah.
forever. This is
You-
freaking amazing.
Like,
Right? I was like, yeah, I was like, whatever, dude. Like, yes, please. And then that's honestly, Mike. So we actually met at the mastermind. And then they talked about like a mastermind. I was like, oh, like what's a mastermind? Like, yeah, and that's an extra. I think it was like $12,000. I was like, yes, like let's just do that. Let's just do it all together. And so I remember showing up to Pace's mastermind, and I'd been in the group for like 2 weeks. And in the mastermind, they're like, "What are you doing here? Like, you know, like you just got into the
Yeah,
group."
I look to my left. I'm like, yo, who the heck are these people? I've never seen these people before. Logan over here just looks like a damn model. I'm like, bro, what the heck? I'm supposed to be the only good looking person here.
Like you definitely are, and we're the most handsome person there. Like,
I'm
no
just
joke.
playing, bro. I'm
Really
not
was.
that. I'm not that good looking,
Very good looking. I noticed that.
bro.
And
So
we didn't have a real estate business, right? Like that was the funny part. It was like we didn't have a real estate business. Like,
Yeah.
and I was in that room because I valued that
So crazy.
relationship. I knew that being in that room, meeting you guys, right, Mike, you were in that room, and me and you, and then being able to connect to other people in that room, and then obviously getting a little bit closer to Pace and just getting more access to Pace and just getting him to know who I was as well, and for him to know who my wife was, like that was important to me. So going back to your question, Daryl, about like spending money on mentorship and things like that, like most people will tell you, and it sounds good, that you should value relationships over money, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone will say that, but do you act according? Do you actually pull your wallet out and say, you know what, this money isn't as important as my relationship with Daryl, or my relationship with Mike, or my relationship with Pace? Most people aren't willing to do that. And if you actually can like take that from a like just take that concept and be like, oh, anytime you're starting to like doubt, like, should I invest in this? It's like, what's more important to you? Like, what are your values? Because what you say and what you do, when those are different, that's when you start to feel frustration.
Bro, and I tell people that all the time, right? When people ask me all the time, how much is sub to? How much is sub to? I'm like, you're asking the wrong question. Like that, the question isn't how much is it, it's how much value am I going to get from this?
You know?
Mhm.
Right? Like, I used to be the same way though. I used to think, man, I'm not spending money on a course or something I can find on YouTube, or I can do this on my own. But then just joining a mentorship and just joining a community and getting, like you're saying, getting access to these high level people who actually care and want to see you succeed is
just different, bro. Yo, literally, at Clever, my girl, they're talking about the Avengers, right? And signing up, and my girl's like, "Yo, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing
Congratulations, by the way, Mike. That's amazing.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
So she keeps bumping me. She's like, "We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it." I'm like, "No, the heck we're not. I ain't spending that money right now." And she's like, "No. We have to do it." And I'm just like, "Okay, whatever. I let it be for like, I think it was the first half a day of first day." And then she kept forcing it, bro. She's like, yo, no. I'm making you do it. Give me your wallet. And she ran to the freaking back and essentially signed me up. And I was pissed off, yo. I'm like, yo, you don't know where I'm like trying to direct my money right now. Like, chill out. And I was actually mad at her. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I go back. The next morning, I'm meditating, right? And I'm having a conversation in my meditation. And I'm like, yo, why was I so mad? And he's like, bro, you didn't believe in yourself. Like, you didn't believe that whatever you went to go spend, you were going to either make back or make some sort of value from it. And I can tell you right now, just from being in the mentorship of the mastermind for the past like 2 weeks, I've already gotten freaking 20 times the value that I spent.
Yeah.
So it's so dope. So guys, if you're listening, please, if you've ever got introduced, maybe you're watching from Facebook or YouTube and you're even thinking about getting into sub 2, or you're thinking about getting into any other mastermind or something like that, and you're like, man, I just don't know. Just freaking believe and go swipe that card.
What I found too is that you're looking for evidence in the Avengers, you're looking for evidence in Paige, you're looking for evidence in Alex, you're looking for evidence in Chris. Like, you need to look for evidence to borrow that belief to instill it in yourself, because ultimately it's on you in order to make it actually work. And I think so many people, they're like, I wonder if this is going to be good. I wonder if I'm going to get the value. Back to what Daryl said, you're asking the wrong question. It's like, where am I going to find the value in this mentorship? And it's already there. And when you have that fundamental belief that everything is already right there, you just got to go search for it and go find it. Who is the accountability on? Is it on Cody Sperber or Cole Hatter, on whoever runs the Avengers, or is it on, sub 2 and Pace? Like, is it on them for them to provide values, or for you to go find the value?
Yep.
I think that's one of the most fundamental beliefs that has helped change me, is like, it ain't about them. Like, they are providing the resource, but it's on me to go find it. It's on me to actually be the one who implements it.
Yeah, 100%. So good.
So I'll be successful in any mentorship I do. That's why I do so many. That's why I'm not afraid to spend money, because like, the risk is what? Like, it's just harder for me to go find the value that I need in order for me to justify paying for it. That's
right.
Easy.
So good. Bro, one more thing. The 3 years that you were hustling and trying to making that thing work, the gym work, and it just wasn't working. How did you manage that with your relationship?
With Katie?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't marry me for my money, right? It was great. Like, our relationship was just that. Like, she saw me grind, she saw me hustle. Like, I was just as excited in 2014, 2015, 2016 as I was at the end of 2017. The only difference was that I just had like more resources, but like, I really did enjoy the process. I loved learning. I loved going through the struggles and like seeking information. And so it was never, when I say I banged my head against the wall, I just banged my head against the wall because like, I wasn't making enough money where I could truly serve at the level I wanted to. So that's where I felt insignificant, but I really do and did enjoy the journey. I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed going through those and like being on Saturday and Sunday buying like Russell Brunson course, right? And going through that and understanding what ClickFunnels was and marketing and sales. And so like I still enjoy that process today. I still enjoy learning. I still enjoy going through that process. So to say that my relationship with Katie was great because like I enjoyed learning. I would share everything I could with her, and she enjoyed hearing it. At that point, she was just our relationship was, I was the fullback, she was the cheerleader, right? So she encouraged me. She was like definitely my biggest supporter. And then it was actually Alex who encouraged Katie to come into the business. And so after, in 2017, at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, Katie actually quit her job and she went all in with me inside the business. And it no longer became my business, but it became our business. And so that's when our relationship kind of went to the next level. Instead of us having a fullback cheerleader relationship, we had a fullback quarterback relationship. And I think it's really important in relationships to just understand what roles are. And by the way, like there's so many people out there who have cheerleader and fullback relationships. Like those are phenomenal relationships. You just must understand your role, right? And so as a fullback, people get frustrated because as fullbacks, they want the cheerleaders sometimes to step in and play quarterback or play tailback, and then the cheerleader's like, bro, like that's not my game, and they get frustrated, and there becomes this like this power pull because the role that the cheerleader originally signed up for, like she doesn't want to be on the field, but the fullback, I need you, right? And so that's where a lot of problems can happen. Now, if the spouse, again, I'm not just talking to husbands or to husbands bring their wives in. I'm talking about wives sometimes too. Is like when you bring your spouse from cheerleader into the game as a fellow fullback or as a quarterback, like that role needs to be clearly delineated, and all of a sudden your relationship must change. They're just two different types of relationships. One is not better than the other one, but understanding your role is one of the most important things that you can have with your partner.
Yeah, I see why I said in the beginning that you teach me so much, even not about real estate. Like it just be about life stuff, bro. Our very first conversation, I'll never forget this. You're just like, you have a girlfriend? I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you love her? I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you gonna marry her? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, what are you waiting on? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm waiting on, actually. Like,
yeah, that's so funny. Pace did the same thing to me last weekend. He's like, bro, you didn't marry this chick yet? What are you doing?
I love that. I love it, bro. But yeah,
it's because it's so important, right, guys? And like Pace knows it, Alex knows it, I know it. But sometimes when you're not in a situation, you're not quite married yet, you don't quite know it because you haven't experienced the other side yet. And it's everything. That's why I challenged Daryl, and in Daryl's situation, it worked out differently. It's like she wasn't the person for Daryl, right? She wasn't the person for you. She wasn't going to be your cheerleader or your quarterback. She's going to be a freaking naysayer. She's going to be somebody who held you back, right? And so, like, good for you, right?
She's going to be the ref.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she'll be throwing flags at you the whole time, right? Yellow flag. And so that's why it's so important. It really is.